Welcome, everyone, and welcome back to the Toros Squad Racing GT3 Championship. After 2 incredible rounds, the championship has officially come alive. And what a battle we have at the top. Carlos Ayanes now leads the standings with 117 points. But take a look behind him. Paul Appledorn is just 1 point behind. 1 point! After 2 races, that's all that separates first from second. It simply doesn't get any closer than that. Ben Roost has quietly worked his way into 3rd place. Don't let the points fool you. If the leaders make even the smallest mistake, Ben will be ready to capitalize. Further back, Alberto Ayanes has climbed into 4th after a strong round 2. Andrew Fairbrother, a round 1 winner, has slipped to 5th in the standings. The question tonight is, can Andrew fight his way back into championship contention? Or has the momentum already shifted? And don't count out the rest of the field. Zhao Wen Chen continues to impress in his first season. João Pedro Silveira Barros is looking for a breakthrough result. Hayden Ward, where is he? Everybody is asking it. While Misael Flores will be hoping that a little home support helps him climb back toward the front. Now the championship moves to Okayama International Circuit. A circuit that looks simple until you actually have to race on it. Narrow racing lines, technical corners, heavy braking zones, and just enough overtaking opportunities to tempt drivers into making decisions they'll regret 5 seconds later. With 40 minutes of racing, fixed setups, dynamic weather, and a mandatory pit stop, this race will reward patience just as much as outright speed. Will Carlos defend the championship lead? Can Paul finally take over the top spot? Will Ben earn his first victory of the season? Or will someone else completely rewrite the championship story? One thing is certain. By the time the checkered flag falls, this leaderboard is going to look very different. Today's broadcast is proudly brought to you by Toros Squad Racing, bringing together drivers who love clean, competitive racing. And by mfloresracing.club, where you can follow Misael Flores and the journey of the number 27 NASCAR machine both on and off the track. Be sure to visit the website and support the people helping make this championship possible. The grid is forming. The championship battle is heating up. And Al and Dex will be here to bring you every overtake, every strategy call, every heartbreak, and every unforgettable moment. Welcome to round 3 of the Toro Squad Racing GT3 Championship. Welcome to Okayama. Let's go racing. Today's broadcast is proudly supported by Toro Squad Racing and M. Flores Racing number 27. Their support helps us bring you live racing, AI-powered commentary, and an even better race day experience. Be sure to check out their links in the video description and support the people who make this broadcast possible. If you're enjoying the stream and would like to help us grow, leave a comment and let us know you'd like to support our videos or become a future partner. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for supporting the partners who support our racing community. Enjoying the race? Hit the like button and subscribe to support the channel. It helps us bring you more live GT3 action, endurance races, and AI-powered. Today's broadcast is proudly supported. Everyone, and welcome back to the Toro Squad Racing GT3. Enjoying the race? Hit the like button and subscribe to support the channel. It helps us bring you more live GT3 action, endurance races, and AI-powered commentary with Dex and Al. Thanks for being part of the community.
One lap to green. Line up on the left side. Closed. Pit road is closed. Still waiting on 2 cars to grid. Waiting on the final car to grid. Everyone's gridded. One lap to green. Catch the pace car. About to go green, stay focused. The pace car is in.
Here we go. Back to business, ladies and gentlemen.
Race on.
The next car's the leader.
Back in the old Le Mans starts, drivers had to sprint across the track, jump into the car, start it, and drive away. Apparently that sounded safer in the 1960s.
Fair red, Dex. I will keep watching the numbers behind it.
Car 16 clearly believes braking is more of a recommendation than a requirement. 1x off track.
New incident X1, total 1.
Left side.
Looking at the cars around
Clear
Carlos.
on the left.
Carlos is 0.2 seconds behind P1. P3 is 0.3 seconds behind Carlos. Dex, how does the field feel from your side of the desk?
Fernando Alonso once finished a race in second with only 5 gears working. Most people panic when they lose reverse.
Good point. I will keep tracking the data.
Fast, dramatic, and only slightly terrifying.
End of lap 1. Carlos is running P2. The current top 3 are Philip, Carlos, and Ben. Here is the gap picture. Carlos has lost a little ground ahead, the gap is 1.3 seconds. Carlos is holding the gap behind at 0.4 seconds.
Oh, that looked expensive. That spin came with free tire overheating.
New incident X2, total 3.
Tough one there, mate, but the race is far from over.
Carlos dropped from P2 to P5.
One more lap complete.
Lap 2 is complete. Carlos crosses the line in P5. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Alberto third. Here is the gap picture. Carlos is 3.7 seconds behind P4.
Car in P1, just set the fastest lap, 29.465.
Confidence increasing, grip decreasing.
End of lap 3. Carlos crosses the line in P5. At the front, Philip leads Ben and Alberto.
"1X, the tires just visited a completely different ecosystem."
New incident X1, total 4. Here is the gap picture. Carlos has reduced the gap to P4, it is now 2.7 seconds.
That's a lap. It had corners, lines, maybe even a break point. Al, any hope?
That completes lap 4. Carlos currently holds P5. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Alberto third. Carlos is closing on P4, down to 0.6 seconds. Dex, give us one racing thought from the booth.
Al, I once asked a driver what the secret to consistency was. He answered, fear. Honestly, fair enough. Some drivers saved tires, others dragged the tires and salted their family. Motorsport fans don't need meditation. We just need engine starts and qualifying laps. You can almost smell the brake temperatures from here and probably the driver's stress too.
That matches the race picture from my side.
The car in
Dex, what is your read on the rhythm of this race?
9.16.
And finally, every racing driver dreams about winning a championship. The funny part is, almost all of them remember the one they lost far more vividly than the one they won.
A little dramatic, but
Oh, did that actually just happen? Clever. They didn't force the pass, they simply made it inevitable.
position gained. Carlos is now P4.
That lap was cleaner than the excuses we usually hear after contact.
End of lap 5. Carlos currently holds P5. Across the line, it is Philip from Ben and Alberto. Carlos is 0.8 seconds behind P3. P5 is 1.0 seconds behind Carlos. Dex, what is the story you are watching on track right now?
There's an unofficial rule in motorsport. The louder the engine sounds, the more fans forgive bad strategy.
Useful observation. Slightly theatrical, but useful.
The leader just did a 29.638.
Driver Spotlight 03 Al, who should we be watching right now?
Let's look at Carlos, car number 32.
You're in fourth position.
Carlos started in P2 and is currently running P4, losing 2 positions. Carlos has 3 incidents. Carlos's last lap is about 1.0 seconds slower than the fastest lap of the race.
Solid, not spectacular. That lap was fast enough to impress people and dangerous enough to concern mechanics.
End of lap 6. Carlos crosses the line in P4. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Alberto third. Looking at the cars around Carlos. Carlos has reduced the gap to P3, it is now 0.5 seconds. The pressure from behind is easing, the gap is now 1.6 seconds.
Al, somebody's race is moving backwards faster than expected. Give us the numbers.
Carlos, car number 32 has had the toughest position swing so far. Carlos started in P2 and is now running P4, losing 2 positions.
Well, some races build confidence. This one appears to be building character. That was either precision driving.
That completes lap 7.
31.465.
Carlos is running P4. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Alberto third. The gap ahead is stable at 0.5 seconds. No major change behind, the gap is still 1.4 seconds.
Dex closes battle 05 Al. Explain that one to me. Oh, that was chaos.
Right side, clear.
That was surgical. Al, tell me who just climbed the ranks and who's feeling spicy now.
Position gained. Carlos is now P3.
You fought hard for that spot, but the pressure finally got through.
Position lost. Carlos is now P4.
You've got about 5 laps of fuel.
Sometimes the smartest move is letting one car through instead of losing 3 positions fighting too hard.
Position lost. Carlos is now P5.
One more lap in the books and somehow nobody exploded.
Lap 8 is complete. Carlos crosses the line in P5. Across the line, it is Philip from Ben and Misael. Looking at the cars around Carlos, the margin to P4 ahead is 0.2 seconds.
Al, who has produced the fastest lap.
Left side.
The fastest drive.
Oh, what just happened? That was interesting. Bold. That took confidence, and just a tiny bit of optimism.
Position gained. Carlos is now P4.
Deck's cleanest driver 19 Al, who is our cleanest driver right now, and what do the incident numbers say?
Misael, car number 27 is one of the cleanest drivers right now, with 1 incident.
Fast, clean, and somehow still in possession of all the bodywork. Another lap complete.
That completes lap 9. Carlos currently holds P4. At the front, Philip leads Ben and Misael.
Al, somebody has been making the incident system earn its salary.
Ben, car number 77 currently has the highest incident total with 6 incidents.
Well, that is definitely not part of the original strategy.
Looking at the cars around Carlos, the margin to P3 ahead is 7.6 seconds. P5 is 2.5 seconds behind Carlos.
Al, which driver has given the incident counter the hardest workout today?
Ben, car number 77 currently has the highest incident total with 6 incidents.
The car in P1,
Sketchy. The situation is holding together, but only just risky.
5.44.
This racing action is brought to you by Iron Wolf Tools, trusted by mechanics worldwide.
Dex, give me the broadcast read on how this race is unfolding.
86.
Fun fact, GT3 cars can lose massive amounts of performance from tiny aerodynamic damage. One bad hit, and suddenly the car handles like a shopping trolley.
Understood. Back to the race picture.
End of the lap and not a single track limit warning. Who are we? Al, check for identity theft.
End of lap 10. Carlos crosses the line in P4. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Misael third. Here is the gap picture. The car ahead is getting closer, the margin is now 6.7 seconds. The car behind, trails by 13.0 seconds.
At Le Mans in 2016, Toyota lost the race on the final lap with a mechanical failure. 23 hours and 59 minutes of perfection, and heartbreak arrived with just a few hundred meters left.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel.
Al, if you understood fear, you definitely feel it breaking into turn 1 on cold tires. Cold tires are nature's way of humbling racing drivers before they get too confident. End of the lap and not a single track limit warning. Who are we? Al, check for identity theft.
Lap 11 is complete. Carlos currently holds P4. Across the line, it is Philip from Ben and Miss IL. Looking at the cars around Carlos. The car ahead is getting closer, the margin is now 3.9 seconds. Carlos has increased the gap to the car behind, it is now 44.5 seconds.
Formula One engineers spend millions on simulations. Drivers still occasionally solve problems by saying, let's just try something different. Driver Spotlight 06 Al, find us a driver having a race worth talking about.
Let's look at Alberto, car number 21. Alberto is currently running P5. Alberto has 6 incidents. Alberto's last lap is about 9.8 seconds slower than the fastest lap of the race.
Ouch, that situation just became a lot less comfortable. This endurance battle is proudly sponsored by Hyperdrive Performance Parts.
Box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Dex,
Right here.
tell me what looks interesting out there.
Some drivers treat curbs with respect. Others attack them like unresolved childhood trauma.
The data does not object to that interpretation.
That's it, go.
That lap had commitment, bravery, and at least one questionable braking point.
End of lap 12. Carlos crosses the line in P4. Across the line, it is Philip from Ben and Miss IL. Dex, keep it useful and tell us what you are seeing.
Remember the famous radio message from Kimi Räikkönen? Leave me alone, I know what I'm doing. Short, honest, and probably the most relatable thing ever said over a team radio.
That is a cleaner summary than I expected from you. P3 has edged away to 33.6 seconds. The car behind, P1, trails by 25.6 seconds.
Car in front is pitting.
At Bathurst, there's a corner called the Chase. Most drivers agree it's named after what your heartbeat does when you arrive there at full speed.
Dex, where should the audience be paying attention?
Car 17 is collecting off tracks like their loyalty points.
Good point. I will keep tracking the data.
That was a strong lap. Did you see that?
9-2.
Perfect. The mirrors gave plenty of warning. It just didn't help.
Position gained. Carlos is now P3.
Did you know the 2021 Azerbaijan GP had no standing retirements until lap 31, and then chaos exploded in 2 laps? Classic F1 patience. Boom, gone.
That matches the race picture from my side.
Car 16 clearly believes braking is more of a recommendation than a requirement.
P2 is 18.1 seconds up the road from Carlos. Carlos has 2.6 seconds in hand over P4.
Al, give us the latest from pit lane. Who is in and who is moving again?
Philip, car number 1 has recently been through pit lane and is now running P1. That could matter as the race settles.
Bold, I like the idea, but racing has a habit of punishing confidence. Professional drivers are unbelievably smooth on the steering wheel. Meanwhile, most sim racers fight the wheel like they're wrestling a crocodile. Progress.
That completes lap 14. Carlos is running P3. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Carlos third.
Which driver should everyone be watching right now?
Let's look at Ben, car number 77. Ben started in P3 and is currently running P2, gaining 1 position. Ben has 6 incidents. Ben's last lap is about 6.6 seconds slower than the fastest lap of the race.
Uh-oh, Al has the numbers, and unfortunately the numbers have bad news.
The car ahead is getting closer, the margin is now 17.2 seconds. P5 is 30.8 seconds behind Carlos.
Who owns the fastest lap right now? Al, who has been the quickest driver on track today.
The fastest driver so far is Philip, car number 1, with a best lap of 1:28.544.
Outstanding. That driver is making a very difficult job look suspiciously easy.
Dex, this is a good moment for a race observation.
You ever notice the guy who brake checks in warm-up is always the first to bin it? It's a law of the sim racing universe, like gravity, but dumber.
Fair red, Dex. I will keep watching the numbers behind it.
That looked tidy, aggressive.
End of lap 15. Carlos currently holds P3. Across the line, it is Philip from Ben and Carlos. Looking at the cars around Carlos. Carlos is closing on P2, down to 15.8 seconds. The car behind, P4, trails by 33.4 seconds. Dex, give us one racing thought from the booth.
Al, I once asked a driver what the secret to consistency was. He answered, fear. Honestly, fair enough. Some drivers save tires, others drive the tires and salted their family. Motorsport fans don't need meditation. We just need engine starts and qualifying laps. You can almost smell the brake temperatures from here, and probably the driver's stress too.
A little dramatic, but the race may justify it.
One more lap complete, and somehow the track limits still survive.
End of lap 16. Carlos crosses the line in P3. The current top 3 are Philip, Ben, and Carlos.
Which driver is proving that speed and self-control can actually coexist?
Carlos, car number 32, is one of the cleanest drivers right now, with 1 incident.
Smart. The fastest way through chaos is occasionally not driving directly into it.
Here is the gap picture. Carlos has reduced the gap to P2, it is now 13.8 seconds. Carlos has increased the gap to P4, it is now 34.9 seconds. Dex, what is your read on the rhythm of this race?
Car 3 is driving like the fuel tank is directly connected to his stress level.
Agreed. The next few laps should tell us more. Dex, how does the field feel from your side of the desk?
Fun fact, IMSA and WEC manufacturers spend millions developing cars, only for drivers to immediately attack curbs like wild animals.
Understood. Back to the race picture.
Lap complete, smooth, clean, and shockingly legal. Al, mark it down, this might be history.
End of lap 17. Carlos crosses the line in P3. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Carlos third. Looking at the cars around Carlos. Carlos has reduced the gap to P2, it is now 12.7 seconds. The pressure from behind is easing, the gap is now 38.0 seconds. Dex, what is the story you are watching on track right now?
The Porsche 911 has had the engine in completely the wrong place for over 60 years, and somehow Porsche keeps making it work. That's either genius or stubbornness.
The leader just did a 30.
The data does not object to that interpretation.
This endurance battle is proudly sponsored by Hyperdrive Performance Parts. One more lap in the books. Al, hit me with the truth. Are we actually improving?
Lap 18 is complete. Carlos currently holds P3. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Carlos third. Carlos has reduced the gap to P2, it is now 11.2 seconds. The pressure from behind is easing, the gap is now 40.0 seconds. Dex, give us the human version of what the race is doing.
Al, if humans ever race robots professionally, the first excuse will absolutely be, yeah, but the AI had better traction out of turn 3. One missed apex in racing feels exactly like sending an email to the wrong person. That driver attacked the curb so aggressively, the suspension started questioning its future. Endurance racing is basically organized chaos mixed with fuel calculations and emotional instability. You know the race is getting serious when nobody is talking in Discord anymore.
That is a cleaner summary than I expected from you. Dex, keep it useful and tell us what you are seeing.
30.
Kimi Räikkönen once got lost during the Brazilian Grand Prix after taking an escape road. Even Formula One world champions occasionally need better directions.
That is one to keep an eye on.
That was a strong lap.
That completes lap 19.
We're in a great spot.
Carlos is running P3. At the front, Philip leads Ben and Carlos. Looking at the cars around Carlos. Carlos is closing on P2, down to 9.7 seconds. The car behind is 41.8 seconds behind Carlos. Dex, this is a good moment for a race observation.
There's an unofficial rule in motorsport. The louder the engine sounds, the more fans forgive bad strategy.
Useful observation. Slightly theatrical, but useful. Dex, give us one racing thought from the booth.
Somewhere in pit lane, an engineer just opened the tire data and quietly lost faith in humanity.
A little dramatic, but the race may justify it.
And that's another lap completed, somehow with the car still in one piece. Another lap down, and the tires are now officially filing complaints.
Lap 20 is complete. Carlos crosses the line in P3. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Carlos third. Looking at the cars around Carlos. Carlos has reduced the gap to P2, it is now 8.8 seconds. The pressure from behind is easing, the gap is now 43.7 seconds. Dex, tell me what looks interesting out there.
Here's a classic. During the 1993 European Grand Prix at Donington, Ayrton Senna went from 5th to 1st on the opening lap. Many people still call it the greatest first lap in Formula One history.
That matches the race picture from my side. Dex, how does the field feel from your side of the desk?
The fastest ever F1 pit stop? Red Bull nailed it in 1.82 seconds. I've seen people blink slower than that.
Agreed. The next few laps should tell us more.
And just sarcastic enough toward physics.
Lap 21 is complete. Carlos crosses the line in P3. The current top three are Philip, Ben, and Carlos.
The Porsche Cup car is basically a giant mechanical lie detector. If your technique is bad, everybody finds out immediately.
The margin to P5 ahead is 4.2 seconds. Carlos has increased the gap to the car behind. It is now 46.1 seconds. Dex, what is your read on the rhythm of this race?
Monaco may be glamorous, but drivers will tell you it feels like threading a needle at 280 kilometers an hour.
Fair read, Dex. I will keep watching the numbers behind it. Dex, give me the broadcast read on how this race is unfolding.
Fun fact, some drivers can recognize tire wear just from vibration changes through the steering wheel.
That is a cleaner summary than I expected from you.
End of the lap and not a single track limit warning. Who are we? Al, check for identity theft.
Lap 22 is complete. Carlos crosses the line in P3. The current top three are Philip, Ben, and Carlos. The car ahead is getting closer. The margin is now 2.1 seconds. No major change behind. The gap is still 46.1 seconds.
Al, be honest. How many drivers here are actually running the fuel they think they're running? Statistically speaking, not enough. Fun fact, some GT3 brake discs can glow above 800 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than most online argument. Professional drivers don't just react to slides, they expect them before they happen.
Left side,
Dex, keep it useful and tell us what you are seeing.
clear on the left.
In 2022, Sebring claimed more suspension arms than any other IMSA track. Bumpy, brutal, and absolutely unforgiving. That place eats setups for breakfast.
The data does not object to that interpretation.
That lap looked fast, dramatic, and mildly illegal in at least 2 corners.
Lap 23 is complete. Carlos currently holds P3. At the front, Philip leads Ben and Carlos. Looking at the cars around Carlos. Carlos is 0.4 seconds behind P4. The car behind, P5, trails by 0.7 seconds.
Back in the early days of Formula One, drivers sometimes raced with one hand while smoking with the other. Safety standards were different.
The leader just did a 29.752.
Next closes battle 11 Al, who is currently close enough to start asking for the Wi-Fi password.
The closest battle is currently for P5. Alberto and Misael are separated by only 1.0 seconds.
Not much movement yet, but that can change in a single corner. Expected. One more lap done, and the rear tires are reconsidering their existence.
That completes lap 24. Carlos crosses the line in P3. Philip leads the race, with Ben second and Carlos third. Looking at the cars around Carlos. Carlos is 4.6 seconds behind P2. The car behind, P4, trails by 1.1 seconds.
One lap of fuel left.
Dex, where should the audience be paying attention?
Fun fact, GT3 racing became popular partly because fans loved seeing totally different cars fighting together. Also because loud engines make everyone happy.
Good point. I will keep tracking the data.
1X free landscaping service included.
New incident X1, total 7.
Should fit to refuel.
Al, somebody has been making the incident system earn its salary.
Alberto, car number 21 currently has the highest incident total with 13 incidents.
Messy. Things are starting to unravel rather quickly out there.
Pit box in 10.
If you're watching this and not driving, congrats, you're already having a better race than half the grid will after lap 1.
2, 1. Right here. That's it, go.
One more lap in the books. Al, hit me with the truth. Are we actually improving?
Lap 25 is complete. Carlos currently holds P3. Across the line, it is Philip from Ben and Carlos.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Who has the fastest lap in the books? Al, who just made the timing screen look nervous.
The fastest driver so far is Philip, car number 1, with a best lap of 1:28.544.
Sharp. Everything seems to be coming together at exactly the right time.
Here is the gap picture. P5 is 7.6 seconds up the road from Carlos. The car behind, P1, trails by 27.0 seconds.
The greatest racers understand weight transfer perfectly. They know exactly when the car is loaded, balanced, or moments away from embarrassing them.
That is a cleaner summary than I expected from you.
Fun fact, endurance drivers sometimes memorize traffic patterns better than city bus routes. Professional racers are masters at saving tires without looking slow. It's basically wizardry with steering inputs. That driver is using every centimeter of the track, and occasionally a few centimeters that don't legally belong to the track. 1X because apparently the circuit wasn't wide enough.
New incident X1, total 8.
End of the lap and not a single track limit warning. Who are we? Al, check for identity theft.
Lap 26 is complete. Carlos crosses the line in P3. At the front, Philip leads Ben and Carlos. Here is the gap picture. The car ahead is getting closer, the margin is now 4.6 seconds. The car behind is applying pressure, the margin is down to 25.8 seconds.
This broadcast is sponsored by Nitrotech Cooling Systems, keeping performance under control. Today's action is brought to you by Elevate Sim Cockpits. Race like the pros. Al, give us the uncomfortable numbers. Who has the highest incident count right now?
Alberto, car number 21 currently has the highest incident total with 14 incidents.
Sketchy. The situation is holding together, but only just risky. who is quietly doing something interesting while everyone watches the chaos.
Let's look at Ben. Car.
Mike is cooling down, my voice is gone, and my respect for turn 1 is permanently damaged. Al, close us out with the top 3.
Great job. You did really
Carlos
well.
finished the race in P3. The podium is P1 Philip, P2 Ben, and P3 Carlos.